This defines everything for the Boston Bruins, as after their final game of the preseason, we get an opportunity to see what final cuts are going to be made to this roster with a few surprising options left out of today's game. We're going to be breaking this game down, going over who has been confirmed making this roster, some of those you were probably not expecting, as well as some others that are time to go and see what happens next. We're going to be breaking it all down here in this video. Before we do jump into it though, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you one favor. That's if you haven't already, be sure to hit the sub button, join us here on the channel. We're covering everything Boston Bruins here, and we're getting daily videos out throughout this regular season. You will not want to miss it. I'll be keeping you up to date with everything that's going on with this team. But we need to jump straight into this because obviously heading into today's game, we knew that this was the final opportunity before the regular season to see what this lineup can really do. And I gotta say, they surprised me. Very, very good game today, and some very good things coming out of players in specific here in this game. Of course, you have the beautiful play by Fraser Minten as well, and all his games, everything going along with this game, but this was a different feel. This felt like a regular season game, and you could tell the Bruins were treating this game like a regular season game. And I'm going to jump into that here specifically in a moment, but heading into today's lines, we saw probably what will be our opening day roster. Something very similar, if not exactly this. There are a few omissions, of course. Matt Poitras, John Beecher, and Matej Blumel not in this lineup. But things are going to be kind of in an interesting direction here, which I'm going to talk about here in a few moments. But on the defensive side of things, that is going to be our opening day roster there. On the defense, the goaltending, and I would argue the offense as well. Maybe Matej Blumel in there, but I think time will still have to tell about that. But heading into this opening day roster, I mean, the lines here today as well, I should say, I'll probably put it that way first. They played very well, exceptionally well, actually. And the way that this team really went about this entire game, probably apart from about 13 minutes there in the second period where they didn't get a shot, although their first shot was a goal, this is a very good sign from this team. They are playing well. They played with a lot of chemistry and a lot more than what it seemed like last last season, especially with, kind of the sheer amount of players jumping in and out of this lineup. And I feel like putting at the hockey stat card and kind of taking a look at it here really proved where we currently stand on this topic. And I mean, Nikita Zadorov, 2 goals, empty netter, one of them. Andrew Peeke, Casey Mittelstadt, Fraser Minten, Pavel Zacha, Hampus, Victor Arvidsson. Going through this, it's very good. One exception, I think Marat Khusnutdinov played pretty good today, actually, and I don't really think that's down here, but I know there's a lot of math behind this and stuff in the advanced analytics, but I think this is a very good game from this Bruins team, and I think this just goes to show the sheer amount of, skill that's being put behind a lot of these players and how good they're actually playing. You're seeing a lot of names here at the top of this list, and the same goes for the preseason, that we don't normally see, which is always a good thing because it's not necessarily meaning your good players and your top players are playing bad, but it just means that everybody is playing good, and you may have a game where someone's playing a little bit better, and I think that's what this Bruins team really went about to. And on that kind of topic as well, we do take a look at this. I feel like this is the best way to kind of show that this team played like they meant it tonight. They played like they wanted it. They wanted this win. And I feel like with Mark Kastlik saying after the game that he just wanted to get a fight under his belt and going up against Matt Rempe. And then you see Mikey Eissaman taking on Carson Soucy for the hit that he wasn't too fond of. I really like the way that these guys are playing. And I mean, that has been Mikey Eissaman's game. I spoke about that here before in the preseason, that he's going to be a guy that we expect to do this. We expect this out of Mark Kastlik taking on the biggest player in the NHL. I mean, this team is showing that they have a different mindset heading into this year, and I want to think that's a lot to do as well with Marco Sturm, what his whole mindset has been behind this team heading into the season. He's not giving the opportunity to players that you think would be in the roster, because obviously if that was the case, Fabian Lysell probably would have gotten the opportunity knowing Marco Sturm, how good he is with younger players. He's not ready. He's not going to be having the team. He didn't earn it. He didn't deserve it here this year yet. Matt Poitras, seeming like the same thing at this moment. And like I said, we're going to jump into that here in a few moments as well. But going into this season, Marco Sturm seems to have turned this team completely around. And that's not saying anything about Joe Sacco or anything. I think this is a whole different mindset after a very long offseason for the Bruins. The longest in a long time, let's not forget, as well as these new additions on this team. So things are looking good. Things are looking up. And one big thing that's looking up as well is Jeremy Swayman. So far this preseason, he's looked good. He's looked back to the Jeremy Swayman that we signed to this contract. And today against a, pretty good New York Rangers team, of course, didn't have the greatest year last year. But apart from that, they're a roster that's pretty good. Igor Shesterkin in net for them and everything. I mean, they had a pretty good lineup tonight. Jeremy Swayman, 30 saves on 31 shots with 1 goal. Cannot complain about that whatsoever. Was given some help by his team, but also helped his team win by backstopping this to a very, very good one goal against. So really can't complain about that. I think this is something that, I don't want to jump too ahead of because we should expect this from Jeremy Swayman, like last year was just one oddity. But seeing this now until we get into the regular season, obviously good signs going forward that we know. And he said it, he vocalized it after playing with Team USA. He was back. He knew he had to take some time off. He knew that he had to clear his mind, and he absolutely did that. Now, tonight's game had a few players on the roster that we didn't see. Of course, Jonathan Asparat here as seventh defenseman. We're getting an opportunity to really see the one last chance from a few players here. And I think those come down to Alex Steeves, Jonathan Asparat, and really at the end of the day, Michael DiPietro, even though he didn't get a game. I think that Michael DiPietro may be kept on by this Bruins team, not wanting to put him through waivers, knowing that he would get claimed. Maybe, and I'm not putting anything out there, this is just something that's crossing my mind now as I'm talking about it, try and facilitate a trade regarding Jonas Korpisalo to clear up a bit of cap space, but also get Michael DiPietro in as a regular so you're not hoarding 3 goalies on your offense. But apart from that, you're getting the last chances from Alex Steeves, Jonathan Asparat, likely will be sent down to the AHL, although both have been very, very good here in this training camp, and I really cannot complain whatsoever about that. But on top of the lineup that was set here for today, there were a few players that were left off of this whole lineup heading into today's game. Matt Poitras, John Beecher, Jordan Harris. They were not in the lineup today, of course, and they have seen everything they need from them. One lapse opportunity for guys like Minten, Khusnutdinov, Asparat, and Steeves. That's what Andrew Fatuccio said. However, Fraser Minten 100% has made this team. Marat, Khusnutdinov, I would say 99.9% chance has made this team. Both of these guys are NHL-ready players, and I mean, from everything that we've heard from Marco Sturm about Fraser Minten, you would argue that Fraser Minten is Marco Sturm's favorite player on this Boston Bruins team. Every day we're seeing something new, and every day we're seeing something new coming out from Marco Sturm. He's on top of this, and he is super excited to get him in this lineup, and I think that Fraser Minten may be probably the most underrated player for the Bruins this season, and so far in this preseason, he's been getting better and better every single game, and I do expect this to also translate into the NHL level, so that's one thing I wanted to pull up. So Alex Steeves, Jonathan Asparat, Beecher, Harris, Poitras could be the end for them, not necessarily saying that, they won't return this year, because Poitras, still super young. John Beecher, he knew his role. He knew he had a new role to take on and maybe be placed on waivers. Jordan Harris, I think, is someone that, could stick around with this team, whether it's him or Asparat. But, the seventh defenseman for the Bruins has been something that they like to use quite a bit. Unfortunately, Parker Wotherspoon was that for a couple seasons, and with a lot of injuries that were happening, he has quite a bit of time. So the Bruins are going with their seventh defenseman, but hopefully with this roster now and what we've been looking at, and I mean, going back to today, this is the defense we're looking at. This is what we're likely going to see heading into Game 1 next week of the regular season, but the Bruins have made some moves. There are a few more coming, and it certainly seems like we have seen tonight what our roster will be. So I think it's a very good game, a very good kind of send-off to the preseason for the Boston Bruins. But this is something that, is not going to stop here. This team has gotten very good in this preseason, and like you guys, you should know right now, and I've been talking about it for quite a bit here in this training camp preseason, even the offseason, this team can be a playoff team and will be a playoff team. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the channel, write it down because I'm getting everybody to making sure that if I'm wrong, absolutely grill me in the comments below because I know it's a genuine crazy thought right now, but I'm still heavy on this team. And after the preseason, I'm liking my chances. I'm not going to say anything else, but I'm liking my chances a lot. So let me know what you think about this kind of roster moves the game tonight as well here in the comments below. But that is all I have in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button, and remember, daily Bruins videos coming your way throughout this season. You won't want to miss it. That's all I got here. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.